An array is like a line of variables all marching in a row, but not all data prefers a single line. Sometimes you must deal with a grid. In that case, you enter into the realm of the multidimensional array. So think of a grid. You have rows and columns. In this code, a two-dimensional integer array is declared at line 5. Two sets of square brackets are used, one for each dimension in the array. Lines 9 through 10 are nested for loops to fill each array element with a value 0. This initializes the array. This step is important because using an array element variable without initializing it can lead to unpredictable results. Say this grid represents a game of tic-tac-toe or noughts and crosses. The statement at line 13 sets a value in the middle square. The final set of nested for loops displays the entire grid. Build and run. Oops. You see that the 1 is placed in the lower right corner of the grid, not in the middle square. This type of mistake is common with arrays because many programmers forget that the array elements start numbering with 0. Look at the for statements. Variables row and call are both initialized to 0. Steps go from 0 to 2, which is 1 less than 3. The array location at 2, 2 is really the lower right corner, as you saw in the output. The real position for the center row and column is 1, 1. Save this change, build and run, and there's your good output. A two-dimensional character array is the same thing as a single-dimension array of strings. Here you see what looks like an array of 4 strings: ant, bee, cat, and duck. Still, it's a two-dimensional array. Look at the element allocation in brackets. The first bracket is considered the rows or strings in the array, and there are 4 of them. The second bracket must be set equal to the length of the longest string plus 1 for the null character at the end of the string. In this example, the longest string is duck at 4 characters. Plus 1 for the null character, and you get 5. This setup means that 5 characters are allocated for each string, which wastes space for the shorter strings, but that's okay. The strings themselves are referenced using only the single-dimension array notation as shown in line 14 here. Build and run the code. You can also use two-dimensional array notation to access a character within the strings, like a grid. Add this line to the code before line 13. Names 2, 2 equals R. The single character R is set into the array. But where? Let's save, build, and run to find out. And suddenly the cat is now a car. You can go crazy with 3-dimensional arrays and even more dimensions. When you create such an array, you need one set of brackets for each dimension, and things can get pretty complex in a hurry. But I'll let you in on a little secret. All arrays are stored internally in a single dimension. The multi-dimensional formatting you see here, the square brackets, are for the programmer's convenience as a shortcut. Still, I use them when I need to reference a grid with more than one dimension. So remember that the first array element is 0, no matter what the array's dimensions are, and you will be fine.